Okay.
Okay.
This is on now. Okay. Computer's working. And those look like they're recording and everything's fine and wonderful. Okay.
All right.
Ready to go?
Yep. Everything's fine and wonderful.
Incoming transmission. Initiating data compilation protocol. Compilation complete. Enhancing. Initializing data playback. Code alpha. Begin playback.
Hey everybody, welcome to another Big Giant Head podcast. This is episode 13 for Wednesday, February 7th. And I am Matt, and with me,
Tim, how you doing?
my buddy Tim. And we're going to talk about some stuff today.
We seem to get everything much more official today. There's writing. There's everything seems to be organized.
Yes, everything worked from like immediate. There's probably not going to be any like little pre-edit thing where we're goofing around and like, oh, this isn't working.
I had problems last night with my stream, but go on. You had an intro. I'll tell you about my.
Oh yeah, no, I was just going to say that. I mean, several things happened over the weekend, like the solo
trip. We're definitely
which I bet we're going to talk about that.
We're for sure talking about that.
It was a betting man.
We're betting on that right now. We're talking about. Let me say this. Last night, I realized the amount of prep that can go into one of these shows or getting ready to go online. Because last night, when we were going to do our quick game dev stream.
Oh yeah, on Twitch.
Yeah, highly.
Twitch.tv/DonleyTime.
Yeah, Donley Time on Twitch. You can.
In case you were curious.
Yeah, and please get on there. So it's like you could hardly have a less organized show. It's like it is. It's really like super comedy hour. So we had a couple great moments. One was before the show. I had a phone call to my mom, talking with her. But the lead up is that took up all my.
My mom called.
It took up all my time before the show.
Yes.
So I'm thinking, okay, I'll just fire up. You know, everything is sort of already set up in the sense that everything's in place. You just need to sit down and play. Sat down, started up a thing, and the broadcasting thing, the program you're using, a program you recommend.
OBS,
using, yeah, that whatever that is, that new one. It had
Streamlabs OBS.
Streamlabs OBS.
Slobs.
Yeah, Slobs had a new update, and it for some reason would not work. Yeah, and so I'm trying to get this thing going. We're like, it's 2 minutes to 6. We'll go on at 6, and we're trying to get it going. Like, it doesn't work. Finally, just tons of rigmarole. Finally got it going. Did the show, which was really great. Just a lot of fun. And then at the end of the show, same thing happened again where I was like, where's the off switch? And so we're like sitting there. I'm like, where's the off switch? And people in the chat are like, awkward. I'm like, we're trying to figure out.
Did you get some customer service support from chat?
It was pretty. Yeah.
To your left.
Over there.
Other left.
Other left. Go there. Yeah, we did. We finally got it up, but it was a fun show. But it does give me an appreciation for what you're doing here, which is
when you're not used to it.
Yeah.
When you don't have like a good rhythm of like, okay, this plugs in here, this plugs in here, okay, put that, and it becomes routine.
Yes.
Everything goes wrong all the time.
Constantly.
And something happens, and then you get kind of flustered, and you're like, wow, and people are talking to you in the fucking chat, and you're like, hold on.
Chat's going crazy.
But now it's just like whatever.
Yeah, I'm not at that.
And it'll get to that point where it doesn't even matter, and like you kind of have that autopilot thing where.
Yeah. I wish I was at that point. Now I'm not at that point. I'm not as organized as you are with this. Like you have it really.
I like that you think so.
Yeah, well, you're a generation, 5 generations ahead of me right now because we're really just starting out with, just a few people watching the show, which is it's a lot of fun though. I do like doing it because I think it's something that we. When you're in school, we had a lot of presentations for products.
Yeah,
and stuff. It really teaches you to get in front of your stuff and sort of. You have to translate it for people, really. You have to kind of translate your ideas.
Yeah, and you wind up learning about it. Too.
Yeah, because in your head you kind of got it all mishmashed. Your
very concept-y and
nebulous. It's like it's going to be awesome kind of thinking, and then when you have to explain your product or when you have to play, like when we were playing last night, there's a lot of times when we're even playing, we're generating ideas and just like here's some UI ideas, here's how this game should play, and even explaining how a game works. Online while we're playing, you got to collect these crystals, and you realize sometimes it sounds boring, sometimes it doesn't seem exciting, sometimes you're like, we should have an option for this. Like there was a lot of that. Like we were playing, and I'm like, oh man, there's a lot of stuff in here we need to like adjust. Just it's helpful. It was very helpful.
Yeah.
The streams are great. I mean, I love them just for even if we weren't broadcasting them and just doing them and putting them up on YouTube, I'd be totally happy with that. Like it's fine. So it was a good stream. Went well, you know, mostly because you know you helped me set up. You got me the microphone and a little mixing box and everything, and it's super helpful. Like all that stuff just made it. I still feel like I don't have the mastery of that mixing box. Like it still eludes me because I still sound like I'm coming out of one channel. Like,
I know what that is.
Yeah,
I can fix that for you.
Okay,
I can tell you how to fix it anyway.
Okay, yeah.
Streamlabs has a by default it tries to make everything stereo, but your mic is one. So there's a little switch in there. You can force it to go to mono, and it comes out of both speakers.
Yeah, okay. That's you're saying inside the input of the mic.
Inside the Streamlabs itself.
Gotcha.
There's a little setting.
Okay.
I'll show you.
Yeah,
I'll show them 100%.
Yeah, that's that. So that's why it always sounds like there's a left speaker only on our streams.
Yeah,
like,
that's a.
Everybody's just like why is the sound coming out? Like, whatever.
No.
So, but whatever, it's fine.
I had to make that switch too because I normally use OBS. Studio, and then I switched over to Streamlabs, and then Streamlabs does not carry that stuff over, and everyone was like, "You're only in one ear." Yes. Like, really? I thought I fixed this a long time ago. I'm like, nope. Streamlabs fucking turns it off again, so you got to go find it.
Yeah, it's still a little bit. The whole broadcasting thing is still a little bit magical. Like, there's still a definite sense of live TV. Like, it's definitely. I mean, I feel like it's 1950 and we're doing the Honeymooners live on the set.
Yeah,
like, it's really, really rough. Like, and you could just see us like kind of walking our way through everything. There's no polish whatsoever on the show. It's just
okay.
It's completely raw.
That's the charm.
Yeah, it's very charming for that.
It's incredibly charming.
It's incredibly charming and almost unwatchable. Like,
so charming.
So charming that it's near unwatchable.
Only a mother could love.
Yeah, only a mother could love that crazy show. But it's a lot of fun though. So
yeah.
Let's go with you. What's been going on with you? You had some visitors this weekend. You had a
family came in to town, so I got nothing done, which is fine. I needed a break.
Yeah.
We watched the Super Bowl, which was kind of funny to me because I don't follow sports.
Oh my god!
Of any
really?
Kind. Right.
That's an exciting Super Bowl. A lot of offense, a lot of points.
But I had to. I only caught the first half.
Okay.
I watched the halftime show.
Okay.
And then I had to come back here because Mr. Scoot on Twitch was playing Savage.
Okay. Mr. Scoot
I had to come
was playing it. So yeah.
Which was fine too because I was like,
sure.
They're playing the sports ball and they're getting the home runs and they're
Does your family follow? Well, obviously, if they're here,
my stepdad does. He's a huge sports guy. He watches every single kind of sports all the time.
Gotcha. Does he have a particular? Was he cheering for any team or did he just
Not really.
The idea of the Super Bowl?
He didn't have a. Yeah, he didn't have a.
Right. That's kind of my dad. My dad was like that, just generic like sports.
Yeah. Well, I mean, George really likes the Chargers.
Okay, San Diego. Well, now they're
in LA.
Yeah.
But, so he was a huge Chargers guy, and college stuff is like Notre Dame.
Gotcha.
But he didn't particularly have any affinity for either team in this one. He was just like he kind of wanted the underdogs to win.
Sure.
Which were the Eagles. Yes.
And they did after that
by a margin.
Yeah, but that
was a
very high scoring game.
For
a Super Bowl. It was incredible. I mean, if anybody.
Yeah, when I saw the final score, I was like, really?
Yeah, it was like college basketball scoring. It was kind of high. It was for unusual. I mean, maybe people listening care or don't care, but the general reference is this: it was a high scoring game. If you look at the numbers, they don't seem like they're large numbers, but for a Super Bowl where those are arguably the two top teams in each division, to have that kind of a score, it might have been the highest. Usually they're kind
of like locked and they don't really gain much ground. Either
mean, there's been Super Bowls where I think both combined scores were certainly under 20 or maybe even 30 for sure. That's probably an average, but this was like each team was near 30 if not over it, like, which was
wasn't the final like 41 to something like that?
It was kind of nutty. Like it was basically all offense. Everybody's just running all over the place and just it's like it was like Tecmo Bowl. Like that's the kind of stuff you see in Tecmo Bowl where you just like guys are going,
there we go, video games.
Yeah, there you go, video game reference. Yeah, just everything's a Hail Mary and a long shot and it's a crazy play that works, like, and it's just like, well, they had one where and it was like a Madden trick play type thing where Nick Foles, the Eagles quarterback,
was this in the first half?
And he received.
I
the ball.
saw that. Yes,
that was incredible. Like that's a ridiculous.
I was like, that's a fucking video game thing.
Yeah, that's a real video. That is something you do not.
That's like spy versus spy shit. Right
yeah,
there.
You don't do that in the Super Bowl because if that guy got hit and taken out, that would be it. Like that would have been the end of the game.
That's the play.
Yeah, that's the entire. Like if he'd have gotten accidentally or intentionally tagged by a linebacker, that would have been the end of
the
it.
odds of that working were
very
I couldn't believe it did.
It was ridiculous.
It seemed like a high school football trickery.
Yeah, most trick plays that work when you see them from the outside, like the helicopter view or outside view, they look like they shouldn't work because the guy's so obviously walking clearly to a place where you think, oh, he's obviously they're going to throw it to him. But from the field, it doesn't seem like that, which is amazing because it's, you're sort of the God's eye view and you're like, he's just walking right into the end zone.
No, when you decide to put yourself down with all the equipment and,
it's
your
very
narrow
difficult.
view and
it's like anything else.
Everyone yelling and screaming around you and
you don't notice it, but that's why it's exciting for the crowd. They're just like, oh my God, this guy's walking like off to the edge and like, what's he going to do? But it was an entertaining game. I ended up watching it online. It's all free. It's amazing. You'll watch the whole thing in HD. It's insane.
No, this was a peculiar experience for me because we don't have cable and I haven't had cable myself for like 15 years or something. Okay. And they rented a unit in this complex. Like there's a rental space here where you can just like rent it out for however many nights you need it. And in there they have cable and a giant like curved TV and like all this shit. So that's what we watched it on. We watched it on actual cable with like commercials and.
Wait, you guys rented a room or you rented the box to bring it here?
No, my family rented a unit, an apartment in the complex, and it had all that stuff in there. And yeah.
Holy crap!
So I watched it like I used to when I was a kid.
That's amazing.
On just TV.
That's amazing. Yeah, I don't think I've watched the Super Bowl. Last Super Bowl I watched. Well, I did watch it at a friend's house last year, which was fantastic. But I normally watch sports games at sports bars, which it sounds ridiculous. I never thought I'd say that in my life, but it's pretty fun. I'm not the kind of guy.
It makes if you're gonna do it, then have
it's
some fun with it.
It's a social event. Yeah. It's all those sports. Anybody that's ever, maybe you guys agree, disagree, but I do believe most sports events, the Super Bowl, are just giant social events. Like they're really not about. Super Bowl party is not about just like probably a FIFA party or a World Cup thing. It's like it's more about getting together with your buddies and just
it's more about eating food and talking and drinking.
The game you watch the game in the last few minutes because that's where most of the action happens. But the first 3 hours is just you guys palling around and having barbecue or something. So it's but in a sports bar you can kind of
have a party sort of.
Yes, and go to a sports bar. It's fantastic. I watched all the basketball playoffs and sports bars are fantastic. It's really fun, super fun. You could just like chill out, and if you want to pal around, you can. But yeah, it's great. So you had your family here. And they recently,
and then I had to peace out over here to watch Mr. Scoot play Savage.
Mr. Scoot, how did that go?
That went fantastic. He enjoyed it a lot. He played the trailer like quite a few times, and he got hosted and rated by a bunch of people. Mr. Scoot is a
I'm gonna check my email here. We're gonna talk about this. But go on, Pete. Tell about Mr. Scoot.
Mr. Scoot is a streamer on Twitch. He's doing a partnership push right now, actually. So he's not partnered, but he's got a pretty sizable community, and he runs a really good show. He puts on costumes, and he's got this weird thing where you accrue points in his channel, and you can redeem them for him spinning the wheel of wigs. And so he randomly has to pick a wig and like put it on, and shades and stuff, and he'll do karaoke also. And he's got a really good voice too, so every once in a while he'll take a break and sing a song.
Sure.
with a nice background and everything to it. Really? It looks like a stage and stuff.
That's amazing. I want to do the karaoke thing.
Yeah, and he mostly plays retro games, so I think this was
we should do the karaoke
kind of in his wheelhouse. Yes.
Do you do karaoke? Oh, of course, you're in a band.
I mean, I can sing, but I don't do karaoke.
Oh, I love.
Or I've never done.
I love what? Oh my God, folks! Right here, we'll do a karaoke show.
Yeah, we could do a karaoke.
Fantastic.
We should do these. We should do every once in a while. We should do a big giant head live head.
Yeah, let's do a live head karaoke like that to like kind of have at least a live head karaoke segment. We can do Otis Redding. It's always a good two guys singing song.
Which one's that one?
Sitting on the Dock of the Bay. It's a good one. Everybody loves that. It's just a fun song to sing.
I'll have to learn it.
It's an easy. Well, we get the little wordy thing. It's very simple. Like, you've probably heard the song a million times, and that's one of the few songs you gotta. Good thing about karaoke is if you pick songs that you're sort of culturally remembered.
Okay,
they're easy.
It's in your DNA somewhere.
Yeah, you'll hear the tune and you'll just go, this is how it should go, and it's exactly how it does.
I got it.
You're like, got it. The first few words come out, and you're like, even if you've never heard it, like most people can sing. I think the ones that come up in karaoke is it's just wacky old 60s songs. I mean 90s songs too. Just any song that you kind of maybe grew up with, or probably now if you were like, you know, you're in your 30s, I mean, you probably could pick out some 90s songs or even 2010s that you just go, I just know these songs, period. Like they're just,
yes. I don't even like them.
I don't even like them, but I know them very well.
Yeah.
Like I could sing a lot of 80s songs that I don't particularly like, but I just know because they got burned into my
memory. Everywhere.
Yeah, I could sing most Jay Giles songs, Jay Giles band's Centerfold.
Okay.
I could sing.
Okay.
Yeah, I could sing those kind of songs. Like, yeah, those are all Freeze Frame. I can sing Freeze Frame very well. Like I just know it. Like it's
film.
Yeah, I know the songs. I could Dexy's Midnight Runners. Come on, Eileen. I could sing that song.
Yeah.
That's burned into my memory. That was like that'd be the equivalent of like just I don't know what's a song that's probably popular right now. I couldn't even imagine.
I don't even know.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying? Like that kind of song. Like just think of a song that you probably heard a lot on the radio or you know through streaming or whatever. Just that would be the song. Like those are all karaoke songs. They're so good.
All right, well, it's settled.
Oh my god, I can't wait. I love it.
Threw down the microphone.
I love it. Yes, I can sing Oasis songs.
You can sing Oasis songs. Yeah,
yeah, they're all pretty easy.
Wonderwall.
Wonderwall.
You know what? Somehow I completely missed Oasis.
Everybody did.
Because everyone always talks about fucking Wonderwall and shit, and like I know that song. You know, and I'm like I can't remember how it goes or what it sounds like or
it's Wonderwall, Champagne Supernova, that kind of songs.
Yeah,
like
see,
they're all. I bet Champagne Supernova.
Somehow they like. I was not at the right time every single time.
You might know it if that song started up. It follows those 4 chord things, so you're just going to be like, okay, I see where this has to go. Like you would go, all right, I could sing along with this. Like even you could probably stumble your way through Champagne Supernova without any problems. Like and people be like, yeah, he must know. He sounds like he knows it.
I think he knows it.
I think he knows it.
Nope.
No? Okay, he does. Yeah. Yeah, you're like, okay, whatever. Yeah. Oh, I love karaoke. Karaoke's so fun.
I did not know that.
Oh, my God. You could not get me off. I get kicked off.
There's like a secret room in your house that's like all the karaoke accolades.
Believe me, I love karaoke.
Tim, what's this? That was back in
the day.
Here's the sequin vest I wore and
I'm the guy that they regularly have to have me step off the mic because
could you have someone else have a turn?
Yeah, I will be on the mic all night. That's why I don't like going to regular karaoke bars. Well, there's 2 kinds, right? There's if you go to them, there's you rent a room with your friends.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Specifically designed.
Those are the best
karaoke. Yeah.
That is the best one. Period. The next one that I think most people associate karaoke with is something like Monkey Bar in LA, which is a stage and a bar, and you go up to the stage, you give them your ticket and a request, and then they go, Tim, you know, love potion number 9.
Number 15, you're up.
Yeah, you're up now. And then you sing in front of the entire crowd. That's
what I think of when I think of karaoke.
That is surprisingly the least popular because for one simple reason.
That's the least karaoke.
That's the least karaoke because you sing the least in that, and it's bad because you end up waiting like 2 hours for a spot.
Okay, yeah.
We went to one of them, I think it was the Monkey Bar, and we went there, and it was like, I think I was able to get in like 2 songs that night, and we were there about 4 or 5 hours. Yeah. And it was
so it's like a bar that has karaoke nights.
Yes.
Like on Wednesday or
and
whatever.
It's full of people. Now, the one thing about that, though, is you do have a very apologetic crowd. They understand how bad it's going to be, and they're like, we're with you, buddy.
That's why they go.
That's why they go. They know it's bad.
Part of the charm.
And they encourage it. Even if you are doing horrible, they still cheer you on. So it really is. It's just like being a pop star today.
Yeah, he's got guts. He went out there.
Like, because any one of them knows they may be next, and they know that like they want to cheer.
They're probably worse.
Yeah, and they may be worse, but it is fun. Yeah. It's super fun. I like that a lot, but I prefer the rooms because you can just pick your songs. You're with your friends. It's much easier to get in line.
I love that. More the Asian.
Oh, it's the best one. Those guys have it figured. You know, the Asian bars have it all figured out. They serve snacks and beer, and you can get pretty much anything.
Yeah.
I mean,
I've never been to one of those things.
Oh my God, we have to go. If we go to LA, there's like 50 that are so good.
I lived right next to one for a little while.
Where?
I lived in Koreatown, and it was.
Oh my God, you live next to one of the best ones. Is that
I can't remember what it was
the
called.
Blue Orchid.
It was on 6th and something.
Blue Orchid is one of the best. I think it's Blue Orchid. That's in K-Town. It's like one of the best ones.
I'd have to look it up.
There's like a few down there, but they're all good. They're all like
6th and Kenmore, I think, was where I lived. 6th and Kenmore.
I do think the ones in K-Town were all very high quality, extremely good. They had a couple there, but the one that I think is like says Blue Orchid, that had rent a room, but the rooms were, I think I told you this, the rooms were deluxe. This was not no crap where you're like, imagine normal karaoke is there's a little TV in front of you with playing like flowers in the background and the words underneath, and then the song starts up so you could see it. But you're normally, the way it works is you're facing this giant big screen TV playing a weird background of some flowers or some people
probably
kissing.
Unrelated to the
unrelated
actual,
and then the words are up and the music's playing and you're singing like sometime. So there's doing that and all your friends around you on a couch. It's like you're in a living room.
Okay.
The Blue Orchid has it reversed, which is you're on a stage, a mini stage. You've got a bank of TVs behind you.
Yeah.
You've got a little teleprompter TV in front of you. Okay. And you're singing towards the crowd. So you're like on stage and you're like, and you're saying, and there's like fireworks going on. It's really good. Like it makes it, and of course most people are terrible, but it just makes it so much better.
And is that like the whole place?
There's like,
or are these rooms?
There's like rooms. Each room has a deluxe setup like that. Yeah, and each room is full bar, full food, full everything. Easily anybody could throw down.
It's a wide world out there.
Oh man,
that I have yet to experience.
Each person easily could throw down $50 to $60 in alcohol and food. It is one of those things that if you do it at least once, it's really fun. Like you walk out of that with like you feel pretty good.
It's like
about
going
yourself.
to paintball.
Oh yeah, you're like, okay, that was a lot of money, but it was really memorable, and you can. I mean, I've been to that one a few times, and it was really just epically fun. Like, you first like, I don't know, so much money. You're kind of getting dragged in. You're like, next thing you know, come on, Eileen. And you're like just going off. You're like, you got your hands in the air, clapping. Everybody's got along. It's amazing. Like, it is amazing. We had what was the one? I think it was Jay Giles, like Angels of Centerfold. There's like some backup singing in it, and if you get some people that know the backups, like the harmony, right?
Sure.
You get some people that know the harmony in a karaoke song, it elevates the entire thing quite a bit. Like you can get a guy that knows like maybe the backup vocals or the thing, and he'll harmonize with you, and you're just like, wow, this is amazing. Everybody's good. You're like, oh, I can see how this could work. You kind of
I think I like this now.
I can do this. I can make this happen. Like, even if you're not even a good singer, you can kind of like, okay, I can see this. This is pretty good. And just the thing is, it's the spirit of the singing is what counts. It doesn't. The actual tonality,
quality
doesn't need to be good. No. In fact, it doesn't matter at all. Worse is maybe
like you
better.
said. Worse is probably better.
Yeah, worse is better. You get more entertained. You're like, oh, okay, he's terrible, but man,
he's giving it his all.
He's into it. He loves this song, and you can tell people when they love it because they close their eyes. They don't even they can just sing the whole damn thing, and they're right on beat. Oh, it's so great, so good. What was this? What was the song? There's a few songs that have many songs. They'll have the lyrics, but as you hear the song, you can hear there's little bits where the singer throws in some embellishments or throws in a couple words or a couple bits, and yeah, exactly. That's or he'll say like, ain't nothing like that, or some weird little like inside bit of, but that's not part of the lyrics. But if you know the song, you throw it in, and that's what makes those songs. Again, you can tell people that love those songs because they'll throw in all the little bits, and even if they're terrible, you're like, okay, they know that song. They really do. They love that song because people pick songs they love. That's their safe spot. They're like, okay, if I'm gonna embarrass myself, at least I'm gonna do it with something I know. And they're just like, so great, so good, such a good thing. But karaoke. We'll do karaoke on this thing. So fun. Okay. Oh my god.
Yeah, there are programs you can get now that just.
Oh yeah, I had one. I had in 2005. I had karaoke programs on my.
You could slap that thing on a green screen and.
It's fantastic. It's great. So karaoke stuff, very very good, amazing, super entertaining. So we could definitely do that. That'd be hilarious. You got to show me too. I'd love to know the setup, and this would be good for educating people that are interested in this. Like I'd love to set up things like games and wheel spin. I looked at the stream stuff, and we're gonna.
Yeah, I don't have a lot of experience with their built-in widgety kind of stuff, but I know it's there, and I've watched.
You're saying this guy does different. He doesn't.
I think he uses those.
Okay,
because I think the wheel he uses is a plugin, either in Streamlabs.
There's
or one of those.
Yeah, they had a couple things. I looked at it, and it's like.
It seems pretty damn easy.
It did seem the one that was integrated was easy. I thought about putting in one of my own, like using the broadcasting thing to set up a window over here on my computer, capturing the window and putting it in the stream. Because there's the one they have in there is it had a lot of weird tie-ins to like Streamlabs this or Streamlabs that. It was all strange. I was like, I don't know what the hell all this is, but whatever. It was irrelevant. It's cool though. I'd love to do some more game stuff.
Yeah, and I mean anything that you can put on your computer, you can capture as another layer in either OBS or Streamlabs.
Yes.
So it's just gonna be whatever.
It's totally fantastic. By the way, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna talk out loud, but I'm forwarding a letter, and we can talk about this. So as you know,
live game development
happening right now. As you know, we've been talking with Yo-Yo and Microsoft. Boss 101 is approved for release on the Xbox
We can talk
One.
more about the Yo-Yo situation if you want
Yes,
to.
and we're going to.
Yeah.
And so we are going to talk about that. And so basically what I'm doing now is I'm sending a thank you to Microsoft because they're helping us out. Thank you guys so much. Thank you guys. Tell us if you need anything. So what's happened is we talked to Yo-Yo. They've got to make a game on the Xbox One, we have to obviously have some plugin or some extension in GameMaker that is turned off by default.
The module.
And not downloaded. Now, here's the funny thing, everybody that's ever developed. Anybody that's ever developed can tell you this. Even if that module was on or off, you cannot develop. If that plugin was on, it doesn't matter because the only way you can develop for the Xbox One is to be a registered developer at Microsoft and have access to their XDK. So
and be on their network and
correct. So it is irrelevant for the most part. I'm sure there's maybe one exception or two. If you aren't a registered developer, having that extension available from the get-go wouldn't matter at all to Yo-Yo or anybody. And now maybe it would. Maybe they've got a reason for you don't have access to it right away. But the fact is, as of right now, people in GameMaker Studio 1.4,
which is what you were using, and that's what I'm using,
do not have access to it. And you have to get Yo-Yo's permission. Yo-Yo has to verify with Microsoft that you're a developer. Then you have to go to Microsoft and say, make sure I have access to this these packages.
This is all after Microsoft has given you their blessing, and a dev kit, and a developer ID.
Yeah. So so what I'm doing now is I'm going to Microsoft and I'm saying like, hey, thanks because I'm getting all this stuff settled, which it wasn't before. So now it's going to be settled.
And there was some confusion with Yo-Yo when you guys initially asked them.
When we asked them, they were like,
hey, can we get access
we don't sell
to
that
our
anymore. They were like, we don't sell.
They thought you didn't own
Studio,
the module.
We didn't own the
GameMaker
module.
Studio, which you did. You bought what it's called the Master Collection, which comes with Xbox One porting,
correct?
PlayStation 4 porting, Vita, PlayStation 3,
all that's all
Macintosh, Android.
None of it downloaded, none of it available.
Yeah, but you bought the right to publish to those platforms,
correct?
Or the modules, with which you could develop for those platforms, as long as you had the corresponding companies. It's all complicated, very convoluted.
All that's what we paid for. That's why we paid the.
That's why you paid Yo-Yo Games.
Yes, that's why we paid the money.
And then when you asked them for it, they were like, "No, you can't get that anymore. You have to. We suggest you purchase GameMaker Studio 2 and rent out an Xbox One module for, was it like $1,000 now or something?"
It was it's $800 a year. This is
$800 a year.
This is GameMaker Studio 2
for Xbox One. Porting support is $800 a year. I thought it was $1,000, but
maybe I haven't looked. It's a bit.
Yeah. So whoever got your email misunderstood you guys, and thought that you wanted to purchase
or something that
for GameMaker 1.4
basically,
or whatever.
The misunderstanding seemed to be they thought we didn't have it yet, and we wanted to basically get it. We're like, hey, can we get this thing? And they were like, oh, it's not available.
Yeah, go buy GameMaker Studio 2.
Buy GameMaker Studio 2 and developing that. It's in progress. So really what's been happening now is we kind of had to back through back it through Yo-Yo and say, okay, look, we purchased this.
We own it.
We own it. And by the way, Yo-Yo, we have 2 dev kits and approval from Microsoft just sitting
collecting
here,
dust.
Sitting here right now.
Because you haven't given us
because we're waiting.
access to the Xbox One development module.
Yeah. So we had to wait for that. Now they were like, oh, okay, fine. And now that was a process there with Yo-Yo that took about a week. And then now we're kind of getting caught up with Microsoft and we're saying, hey, here's exactly what we need. Now that we know what needs to get done, because Yo-Yo's allowed us to actually take a step.
The
first step. Now
the way that Yo-Yo verifies that you are friends with Microsoft they email Microsoft and say, hey,
is Donnelly Time Foundation a registered developer?
Here's their email.
Yeah.
And anybody could do that. Like I could, since I know your email.
You could be like, hey, I'm part of Donnelly Time Foundation, and here's Tim's email
here's their
address.
email. Do they exist on Microsoft's database?
Yeah. And they would go yes. And then you'd be like, okay, here's my Yo-Yo account email. Can you turn on my Xbox if you paid for it? Can you turn on my thing? Then you'd say, yeah, okay, cool. Now, here's what's funny. Here's where you're dead stopped. If you're not a real registered developer, you wouldn't be able to get that XDK, and you'd be screwed. I talked with Josh. I said, so let's say somebody did what you just said. Mm-hmm. As far as I can tell, I said, what if somebody did that, and what would they have at that point? Josh was like, nothing. It's like, they could maybe pirate it or do something like that, but honestly, you couldn't do anything really, because you don't want to be using any kind of illegal or any kind of weird trickery on first of all, you need a dev kit. Then you need a Microsoft account to do anything. So it's
and be plugged into their network.
Yeah, so
like
you
it's
can't.
A live
you can't.
wire between you and
That's
them.
the point. Like that's how it works. This whole thing is set up to be a live connection on the internet. It's actually quite impossible, or at least quite improbable, that it wouldn't even matter if you had that plugin. If anybody gave it to you, if you got it, if they just handed it to you now, you couldn't do anything with it. It was like you're going to make an Xbox game. So you
already paid for it too.
You already paid for it. Yeah, this isn't a weird situation where you're paying license per year or anything like that. You're just straight out, you paid for it. There was not a whole lot of reason for them to do that, but
to keep it from you and to.
It didn't make a lot of sense.
Who knows? Maybe that's why they have the relationship with Microsoft that they do, where it's, hey, we'll do an extra layer of security for you.
Yeah, maybe maybe it was some deal they worked out. Maybe it was something that was just the way to do it. I have no idea, but it is a little. It's a lot. It's definitely an extra. It seems like an extra step, and it's kind of an annoying step, because it was really like, well, I mean, it got done. They were in a sense relatively fast, but obviously for us on our end, nothing is as fast as we'd hoped. Like nothing is as quick. We're up all night. We're working all the time.
Yeah, stressing.
Yeah, we're like
when things are going to happen.
Yeah, on our end, every day is, and it's for. I mean, I'm sure it's true for Yo-Yo, Microsoft, everybody. Every day, time is money. But for an indie, the proportion of money versus your entire
you guys aren't getting a paycheck.
Yeah, we're not getting a paycheck until
to sit around.
Yeah, when we don't have when our day is slow working on Boss 101 and the Zazmo, we're pretty much like just burning through money.
Yeah.
One of our big hopes is
because you're eating and you're using electricity and you're using rent and
and
whatever
we
else.
don't have another stream of income coming in. We don't have Yo-Yo's got their main development. The Yo-Yo's got their engine. Microsoft's got
Not to say that they're all sitting around either. It's just,
no, they're not. I mean,
it's a different situation.
It's a priority thing, right? They're on their mind, like their number one priority is not Boss 101. It's funny though, if you look at interestingly, if you look at Microsoft versus maybe Yo-Yo or any company, an instant thing to say, which I think is incorrect, is to say, well, Microsoft can afford to have all those people. It can afford to have, it's a $1 $70 billion company, maybe more at this point. Of course, they can hire hundreds of people just to answer phones and answer emails. It's thing. But what you're kind of missing is Microsoft didn't start that way, and the way they started was probably good customer service, where they did sit around and say, hey, let's not let these emails sit for days. Like, let's get on it, because that's
answer every single one and at least tell them I'm looking into it.
Yeah, looking into it, checking into it. Gotcha. We're not going to forget. And if you don't hear from us, write us back. Don't worry about it. We're here. And that kind of means a lot. Like, giving Microsoft a lot of credit here. They've been on the ball the whole time. Like every time we submitted the Zazmo Arcade Pack, which is our second game, for approval for the Xbox, and it took like 4 days. I mean, they got back to us. Their initial response was, thank you for the submission. We got it. Yeah. Appreciate it. We're going to look into it. And then they were like, got back and said, hey, cool, it's approved. And they've just been good about everything. Like they got a huge team over there, sure, but they're personal. They're like, hey, Tim, like what we're seeing. It's good stuff. It's been really great. So I'm excited about it. Microsoft's been really, really great about it. They've definitely been the most forward-facing,
communicative.
Company. Oh God, they're blowing out the doors on almost every single person we've spoken with, like by a long shot. Like it's not even close. Like actually, who's not bad either was Devolver here in Austin has been really. They've been responsive. Like we'll pass them our game ideas and stuff, and they're always like, whether they are interested or not, they're always pretty quick about the thing, and they're always very polite. So I was like, that's a nice thing. It's like, again, it's just nice to hear like back from somebody that says, hey, you know what, great idea, but we're just not interested in this. That's fine.
Yeah.
It's like, it doesn't matter. It's like, who cares? I don't expect to. Every game isn't going to fly over into everybody's lap perfectly. So it was really just nice. Like Devolver, and I think the other one, there's been a few others, but mostly Microsoft stands out as the one that I was like, wow, I do not mind working on a Microsoft console. Like, this is amazing. Yeah, and they sent us, dev kits and SD. They sent us everything. They gave us everything. So we were just like, incredible.
Yeah. I'm like what you told me was go with the one that asked you to the prom or whatever it was.
Dance with the one that brung you.
Dance, yeah, there you go. Yeah.
It's such a good. It's so true. Like, they really pulled it off. But yeah, it's awesome. Oh. But yeah, you're gonna get registered. You said, so that sounds like something.
I'm thinking that I'm gonna talk to them.
Yeah,
because I would love to put Savage on a console.
Yeah, and
that's always that was the whole reason why I wanted to do any of this, was because consoles, to my young mind, that's how I developed. It was like, that meant video games, like a box.
It is
with
like, to a lot of people, it is.
Yes.
So a lot of people, you go like, you think like, well, this is. Here we go. So look at this.
New email from Microsoft.
So here we go. Let's talk about speed.
Yes.
While we were talking here, before we started this podcast, I had emailed Microsoft and said, hey, we're trying to get hooked up with this thing. And in the time we've had this podcast, real time, folks, they've already set it up. So this gigantic,
you've had it back and forth like maybe twice while sitting here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
since you got here.
Since I got here, but I'm just reading their responses. So this is like giant juggernaut of a company plowing through ice fields, like with not a care in the world. I was telling Joshua this. I was like, Microsoft, and not that they would, but to have them come back and say, we're not, dude, look, we got things to do today. We're working on, the next Word or the next, working on Windows 11, buddy. Yeah. Like, we're working on we got Cuphead 2 coming. Like, why do we even care about what Boss would
Windows Defender updates needs to pass certification, so sorry.
Yeah, so here we go. So I'm just gonna forward this to Joshua. But yeah, it's crazy.
Now this is in comparison to Yo-Yo's handling of
well, everything was a day. Everything was a day there. It was like, and it was like, okay, yeah. And again, hey man, it happens. You get a situation where we're, by the way, just as a side note, right now let's see if this works. Okay, so we're planning to use Game Maker Studio 2. Because it's good. Like, it's a good.
So am I, because I'm used to one. Yeah. Like, I know a lot of the tricks in there, and I can do it fast.
Yeah.
At this point, so it's like, why not just move over to the sequel?
Yeah, and Joshua he says it's really good. Like, I mean, in the sense that.
And the thing about them denying you your Xbox One thing initially, because it was a misunderstanding.
Yeah.
Sent alarm bells going off in my head. You're kidding me. Because I own that too, and I'm like, so I'm not going to be able to play around with any of that stuff, or what? But it sounds like it's been sorted, and this is supposed to be the norm, that you got the thing you paid for, essentially.
Yeah, this is
so like, okay, well but still, that's a little worrisome. But
it's super crazy. Like, they're it's like one of those things where, again, these guys are just like, this exact experience, I'm just going, oh my God, it makes me feel really good about, I mean, this, working on developing a game there's a lot going on, and most of it is just, there's a couple things. There's the worry of, is this game going to sell? There's the worry of, am I going to be able to hit the vision I'm trying to do? And then there's like, when all that's said and done, the next one is,
and then there's financial stuff, and there's
like, you've got your batch of lemonade, now you have to have a stand to sell it in, so you're just sort of like, oh God, I got the greatest lemonade.
And then you need the business certificate in order to set it up.
It's just like, so I'm gonna let me send this. So check mail, and then see if it works. So but then there's all that, and then you get to something like this, and it's just like, oh my God, see if works.
Yeah, hoops to jump through that are not of your own making, or your
and then you're just constantly going. You're just going like, oh my God, like, is this another slowdown? Is this another thing? But
it's kind of a miracle that any creative anything happens at all ever.
Yeah, and it's crazy. Like, I actually, this one I'm really.
It's fascinating.
It's one of those things that you'd think, like, making the game is like a fifth of the actual work. Like, that's a lot of work, and that's
that's a huge fifth. Yeah.
Yes, it's like there's the whole
a disproportionate fifth.
It's like it's seriously like crazy. Like, this whole, I mean, but again, since I've developed at bigger studios, I think we're all set now. Since I've developed at bigger studios, it's just been like crazy where you go getting into this, doing this now. You know, we're seeing what you're doing, which is amazing. Like Savage to me is just it's a monument. Like
if only I could be doing it a little faster, I'd be happier. Which I got to. Yeah. I have to because it's getting down to the wire for us here.
Yeah, I can imagine. Well, it's the same for us. Like we're sort of, you know, we finished Boss 101 and we're sort of like, okay, you know, it didn't sell well on, but we're hoping that Xbox does the trick. You know, that's one of the things we hope.
Yeah, it's getting a little hot.
It's getting a little hot. Well, we have I can't officially talk about it, but I'm just saying there may or may not be some special thing happening with Boss 101 in the next week or so. Now, there's only a few special things that could be happening, so we'll let the audience figure that out.
A couple special things.
It's a couple special things, and they all
may or may not
a direction of price
sooner or later.
They all involve maybe things that if you're interested in it, maybe you're gonna have a reason to be
purely hypothetical.
Yeah, it's purely hypothetical. So, but yeah, it's that could that should be happening.
Maybe swing things in your favor a little.
It may swing things in our favor.
I am excited about the Xbox release, though. Oh, God, I think that game is perfectly tailored for.
I think so
like what I was just referring to, my young development brain. Like this is a video game and it's on a box and it's got a controller and it's.
I agree.
It's specifically designed for Boss 101.
Yeah, it's exactly that. So I'm very excited about it. I very much want to like see it go on next. But then also we want to try and do the Zazmo thing.
Yeah.
Our big push right now is to finish Boss 101, obviously get it on the Xbox, but then also bring Zazmo out. And we're thinking about early access for Zazmo. We've been talking to publishers, but at this point it's sort of been we've been getting responses, but it's just like people are like, oh, okay, it's cool, but it isn't the thing we're looking for right now. And that's fine. Like we could do it. We're going to put it out on Steam, and the idea right now is to go to early access maybe soonish, at a lower price, and finish up development on that. You know, with a game that's relatively done. I mean, it isn't like there's a lot more to do on Zazmo.
Would you then? Do you think you would then raise the price after early access?
We would. Well, the price on early access right now,
not as an official thing, but as a just kind of off the cuff, like.
I think
is your instinct to raise the price after
something
goes through early access?
Yeah, my feeling is early access. Not that you have to discount it, you don't. And also, early access, there is no such thing as a 10% off. You have to just have the lower price. So
you can't put an early access on sale.
Correct. Anything. You can't just say, oh, we're going to be $9.99 when we release, but we're going to be 30% off during early access. That isn't how they say. You have to price it at the price, and then you can say in early access, when I'm done, I'm going to raise it to. I think
that's generally what I see in games early access breakdown on their pages. They're like, this is the price for early access, and then we're going to we're going to raise the price when we think it's done.
We will probably raise the price 20% when we
as we add quality to the game, and its value will increase.
It's right now we feel like early access, just the name early access, just writing that on there, unless you have a game that is just like PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds or something like that, where it's got a lot of inertia and a lot of players, you can maybe get away with keeping it the same price if it's or have a higher price. So say like it's going to be $30. We're charging $30. Like, and you're like, okay, wow. It's like, you want me to beta test your game for $30? Like, okay, cool. I mean, some people it's fine, but for us, I think it's worth to go down to get. We want people to get in people's hands. We want people to see it, and we want people to have fun with it. So. In other words, we need attention right now. We're looking to get eyes on the game, and that's something that Boss 101 didn't always have. So we're going to basically go, okay, cool, get all these people in and have them interested in the game. So
you could wind up building a community around it.
Exactly, build a community. I mean, we want to have this giant community that says basically, okay, this is what Joshua says. I can't with my long. It says, the email says...
Live updates.
Okay, well, all right. So I'm getting news that I will check into something. All right, I'll check when I get home. So now I'm getting news that Joshua cannot log in.
Another speed bump.
Another speed bump, but this is a fine one. This is fine. I think the Microsoft thing, so I'll check when I get home. I'll check.
This is some good insight into this process,
is crazy. So basically when home. Oh my god.
This is what these guys have been having to deal with over the past like 2 months.
Yeah, we've had like a
since
crazy
December,
so
pretty much.
This is
First trying to get the dev kits from Microsoft, then
yes, all this like to kind of
a couple of snafus in there, finally getting them, then asking Yo-Yo for the module with which to interface with the dev kits.
Yeah. So now, so what has happened is that everything looks to be smooth, but now I've got to log in with my account, not Josh. Josh is signed up as an Xbox developer, but he cannot.
Josh was the programmer for Boss 101.
So he says he cannot log in right now, but whatever. That is a small slowdown.
Yeah.
But we'll check it out. But crazy. It's nuts. Like it has just been nutty. So, but yeah. So that's all. Like I said, early access, lower the price, raise it when we low price to go in, maybe raise it, like I said, 10, 20% to get out. We've just submitted our pricing to Valve for the new early access price, which is lower than the release price. And then after that, we can set up the store and set up early access. I should say set up the store for early access. And then we'll release it. Yeah, that's the plan right now. But it's good. It's fun. I mean, if you could watch the dev streams, they're fun. They've been super blast. So let's talk about Solo.
Oh my God.
Come on.
So, yeah. Super Bowl dropped the frickin' Han Solo Solo movie teaser.
Yep.
And then I guess a longer teaser came out.
Yes, there was a Super Bowl teaser.
Which you told me to watch. I didn't even know that they released it.
Then they released, I guess, the trailer, which is like a minute. It wasn't very long. It was like a minute and a half or something like that. That was the official. The teaser was about a minute, I think.
Yes.
So that was during Super Bowl.
And then the newer one is like minute 30.
Yeah, not much more stuff, but tonality was quite a bit different.
Little Han Solo acting in the new one.
There was some very little acting.
Acting.
It was very... I liked the teaser. I didn't like the teaser a lot. It was better than I thought. Like the teaser was okay.
Yeah, admittedly, I was expecting pure garbage.
Yes.
So, which I shouldn't, because visually, these movies do have some muscle.
Yeah.
And watching the Solo thing was like, oh, a lot of that looks kind of neat.
Yeah.
Like the artistry.
Yeah, and I like
visual artistry in it. Was
I
pretty
did
cool.
like. The breakdown or part of it is that he's signing up to be an Imperial pilot of some sort. At least you get the idea. Now you don't know if that's part of a heist or part of a real thing.
Yeah, you don't know if it's a ruse on his part.
Yeah,
like I'm going to sign up and
my feeling
trick
is
him.
That's a misdirect. I feel like that's a misdirect, but my suspicion right now is that they're playing it like he really was going to be an Imperial pilot, which I don't get the feeling he ever was, because he can't say I've been smuggling since I was 10 and then go to sign up to be in the Imperial Navy. Like that's not going to happen. Like he's not. Doesn't make any sense.
I don't know what they're going to do. Here, let me just preface this before we go any further with saying that I have a completely and totally unfair outlook on this project.
Right.
I don't want it to happen at all.
Right.
And I didn't want a solo Han Solo fucking thing.
Nobody's
especially after watching, the three newer wave Star Wars films.
Yeah.
I don't want any of that associated with Han Solo.
not a character that needs a lot of explanation.
No, he's better left without it.
He's a mystery.
In fact,
leave him as a mystery. We don't
want to see the Kessel Run.
No. Nobody wants to know about the
or at least their interpretation of the Kessel,
No, it's
Kessel
better.
Run.
You're in your head. It's whatever you think in your head is probably a better and funner thing. Like you're just imagining some wacky escapade.
Yeah, or just them going real fast.
Yeah.
And delivering some spice.
Yeah, it's like, okay, cool.
And they broke a record.
Yeah, and you don't need to know how Chewbacca and him met. But now again, these are all risky moves to explain. Like they're all because almost every explanation.
Most of this stuff has already been covered in comic books and books, anyways. So
and the thing is, Han Solo is an enigmatic character. You don't really. He's better left as a mystery than he is as a fully. I think you've said it best. I think your explanation of the Han Solo movie has resonated with me, which is they're going to explain him to the point where you realize all his wacky Han Soloisms aren't just these off the cuff things. Yeah. They're all habit. Like
yes, they were things that happened to him that he liked. So he just kept doing.
Right, like. I love you, I know.
Simple tricks and nonsense.
Yeah, exactly. Somebody's gonna say, "Oh, that thing's a hunk of junk," or this look at that looks like shit. He's just gonna say all the things he's ever said in all the movies later, are going to be said here to him.
Yeah, wasn't in the mood for a conversation anyway.
Yeah, exactly. So that's where he learned it. Like
he uses it still.
Yeah, he still uses it.
Look at him.
His mom used to say that before she slapped him. Oh, it's so funny when I hear it now. Like now,
Chewie said that once to him in Wookiee.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's like. Or they're gonna do something stupid like he actually doesn't understand Wookiee at all. Like they're gonna
he's just riffing on
he's
Chewbacca.
been making it up the entire time. Or,
yeah.
See, they're gonna I do feel like that will ruin Han Solo.
There are things. Yeah. There's bound to be something like that coming.
Well, because everybody loves Han Solo.
Resist.
Han Solo is so lovable that. And we've had 40 years to develop our own personal stories for him.
Yeah,
they definitely
it's going to be wrong.
Yeah, they're wrong no matter what. Like they couldn't do it
for 99% of everybody.
The only time they did it right, where they explained a Harrison Ford backstory character, which was Indiana Jones and Indiana Jones 3.
But you could almost take that where he meets the bigger, gruffer guy, with
the other
hat
Indiana Jones, Indy 1,
Indy proto Indy, and gives him the hat, and like Indy gets whipped and like all that stuff. You can view that as sort of like a hyper condensed, and it's presented in a very goofy way.
Yes,
where it's like, oh, we hit all these like marks, the check boxes of Indy, and now he's Indiana Jones.
Yes. Well, but he doesn't. The guy. What was cool about that particular one was it was early enough in the Indiana Jones movies that it was only like 6 or 7 years in, or maybe even that. Right. In other words, Indiana Jones came out in like 81, and I think the last one came out in 89. So that was like, there's whatever you've got.
It didn't give you too much time to.
Yeah, you didn't have like
to mull over.
Yeah, you
Indy.
weren't like, because now we've got like
there weren't video games about him. There weren't comics about him.
It's been 40 years. If you think about it, New Hope Episode 4 came out in 1977. Yes. So now we have 40 years to think about how Indiana Jones came about.
It's gone through. Yeah, Star Wars has gone through several generational filters now.
Yes.
Where we all have our own weird casserole of Han Solo in our heads.
This is ours. We don't want to. Don't screw with it. So
Or I like this video game better than that one because they talk about how Han Solo freed Chewbacca from the Imperials and.
Yes. So all that said.
Yes.
I see the trailer and I was like, if it wasn't Star Wars, I was like, okay, would I be interested?
If this wasn't Star Wars, it'd probably be a fun sci-fi adventure film.
Be a romp,
it'd be quite a romp.
I didn't like the. And not that I didn't like, but I thought it was a little unusual. And again, it's like they're setting this tone up where I think they're starting in a weird place where they start with like Woody Harrelson talking about getting a team together, and I'm like, his name is Solo, which is really not the word for team. Like,
right?
It's kind of like, unless they're going to show that he's better off alone.
It almost sounds like an Ocean's 11 thing.
That's what.
That first scene in the teaser where he's like, "Oh, so you want to sign up to be an Imperial pilot?
Yes.
Best pilot in the galaxy."
Yes.
That seems like it's part of the Ocean's 11.
Well, because if you watch that scene carefully, and it's pretty clear, he's in a disguise of some sort. He's not.
Yeah, he's got some big weird.
He's got a big, but he's covering his face too, so you don't even see. That isn't Han Solo in his vest, just chilling there with a blaster pistol talking to that guy. It's like some guy.
He looks like what Jabba looked like before they decided to make him a space slug.
Right. That's exactly what he looks like. And so they're like going. You get the feeling like, okay, it is a ruse. Like he is just saying that so he can get a hold of like some schematics or get inside the ship.
Some cargo of some sort.
And also, I assure you, that last scene, as I've mentioned, my money is on that's the Kessel Run when you see that giant Star Destroyer in the tornado. In the giant,
and they're chasing the Falcon.
100% guaranteed.
And then the Falcon fucking like a ping pong paddle.
Yeah.
Smacks
it. That was cool. Like I was like, okay, cool. That's like a wacky. That's a very Star Wars thing to do. It's so like they treat their ships like cars. They don't even care. Like.
Well, there's a popular JJ thing now where like all the ships have to fucking bounce into everything and they have to.
I do hate that. I hated when Force Awakens when
that's how I read that.
Oh yeah, I agree. No, you're right. Well, J.J. Abrams has this thing about the Falcon. He treats it like it's a roadster. Like he slides it in the mud, the dirt, the snow. He has it hit buildings and knock things over.
It always bumps into the ground when it takes a dive. And
I think and
it looks cool. Like it does look neat.
But I think in his mind, that's how he's showing scale and like how he's showing. Well, this is a real thing, guys. This isn't just a model.
It's interacting with its
you aren't just seeing
environment.
Mos Eisley with a Falcon shooting away. You're seeing like it's interacting with these. It's hitting antennas and things.
Right.
And I'm like,
it exists in this physical space, everybody, and it's knocking things over.
Yeah, but like it's at the same time, you're like, it's kind of shitty. It's like it looks dumb. Like when Han Solo's supposed to be an amazing pilot, and in Force Awakens when he like slams into the forest and stuff, I'm like, what? Han Solo wouldn't do that. Like he's a good pilot. Like he doesn't just like slide into snowbanks. Like
in the JJ verse, everything has to fucking hit everything.
Yes,
and like X-wings have to fucking slide through the water, and
well, it's yeah, you can't. X-wings have to touch water. Everything's
those
got
fucking
like,
new things on the Salt Planet crate have to make lines in the. Everything has to kick up dust somehow.
Do they know that they fly? Because I feel like anything that flies doesn't touch the ground. That's the whole point of. That's what is actually the definition of flying.
Yeah.
Does not touch the ground. Like
lift.
A lift. It's like, why do they have to? But it's just, again, it's one of those things where I feel like the.
And it's not that it looks bad. It's just something that we've noticed.
Well,
it's like this is a visual crutch.
But it's become a thing. Like, it's become a thing now. Even in his Star Trek movies, like everything had to slam into things. Like the Enterprise was underwater. I can't go over all the wrong reasons for I hate that so much. Like it's got to come out of the water. It's like did they know what a spaceship is? Spaceship isn't a submarine. It's not the same thing. It's like this guy invents force fields and it's a special ship with the booty. No, it's not. It's a spaceship.
There's a little mode toggle.
Yeah, there's a mode that goes underwater.
Water.
Yeah, and it turns on all the air filters to turn into
make sure filters. That the pressure doesn't crush it.
It's so goofy. It's like underwater where there's like so stupid. It's like so hard to. Now there's corny episodes of Next Gen. There's corny episodes. Of the original series.
That has them by the boatload.
Yeah, but there's also 700 of those episodes, so you can allow them one or two, but you can't have every J.J. Abrams movie has like a squidfish. It's like you can't have fucking krakens in space, like, which is at the end of the Han Solo movie. There's it's basically Pirates of the Caribbean in space. I'm like, I was like, oh my god, we're just missing Barbossa here. Like, all he needs to come out.
It's good. It's good. Extra modular material for their Star Tours. Attraction.
Like, whoa, space squid!
Like, tentacles.
Oh, sell a space squid game.
Here, they fucking move the chairs around.
Oh my god, I don't know what to make of that, but I did. There were bits and pieces that I did like a lot. I thought, like, well,
overall visually it looked really cool. I thought.
Yeah. Ron Howard's a good director. I mean, he's a very straightforward director. He has like, you know what it is? Ron Howard, I shouldn't say straightforward.
God, I think that's exactly what Star Wars needs right now. Is some fucking straightforward.
Yeah, he's
something.
He's of the old school classic director. He's not all shaky cam. He's just like, set up your shots, do them solid, just like
shoot the bad guys.
Yeah. Frame it. Don't fuck. Everything isn't a Dutch angle. Everything isn't like a upside down. Everything isn't like Han running down a hallway with a shaky cam following him. It's like, it's just, God, just don't do that. Like, I like setup shots. I like cinema from like Once Upon a Time in the West, which is like Sergio Leone. Like amazing John Ford. These guys that are like classic directors that just set up these massively wide angle shots with two little dots on them, and you're like, that's amazing. That
and you get to soak it in a little bit. And
you get to slow down a little. Like J.J. Abrams, everybody's like, ugh, giant ray head, blah, 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 lightning, blah, 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 and like, lightning bolt in my hand. There's
like an orange on a toothpick.
Yeah, it's just, it's like, I can't even follow. I mean, it's like, it's exciting, but at the same time, it's just so frenetic. Like, there's no pausing at all. And when there is, they have to kick in like 8,000 decibel John Williams music. It's like, okay, guys, just calm it down. Like,
oh, the music too, remixing all the Star Wars music too for these
the guitar. Wow!
At the beginning,
I kind of liked it, but what you say?
It sounded like junky space pirate noise, which that was pretty good. Junky. But the rest of it, where it's dun, dun,
wait till the Daft Punk. That's the Daft Punk remix.
It's like trying to do that with fucking like Happy Birthday or something, where it totally misses or changes what the song is. Like Happy Birthday to you. It's like, what are we listening to again? It's like you can hear parts of what the song was.
There's
and like
bits of Man of Steel in there. There's bits bits of it's you're right though. They are everything they've done. They're trying to. It's like they cannot leave well enough alone. They can't just say
we know better.
Yeah, it's almost they're doing what we all hated. That they're doing a macro version of what I believe George Lucas did when he's like, I'm going to make Greedo shoot first or Han shoot second.
Yeah.
Like they're doing that now, but they're doing it to entire movies. It isn't like one scene and one little cut. It's like, no, we're making the whole movie another alternate thing. Like, it's,
we are rebranding the whole. Yeah. New noises, new sounds.
These aren't
new look, new feel.
This isn't the Millennium Falcon you knew. This isn't the Han Solo you knew.
This ain't your grandpa's Falcon.
Yeah, this could be different now. This is a Falcon, an agenda.
Millennium Agenda.
The Millennium Agenda. There's a I think it's a web series. It's called The Millennial Falcon, which is a great name, by the way. Like, I don't know. I think it's like people that talk on like kind of pop culture / science fiction, Star Wars, of course.
Like what we're doing.
You know, we're doing now. We're the Millennial Falcon. It's like,
we're another nerd crew.
Yeah, another nerd crew talking about another thing you've already heard a million times on the internet. Boy, this is
but
great.
who cares? Welcome, Big Giant Head Podcast.
Welcome.
It's a great show.
Welcome to Earth, where every opinion is valid, apparently.
Yeah. And you get to put it on fucking YouTube.
It's like, for all time. I'm sure maybe forever and ever. Somewhere in the far
Bitrot can't come fast enough.
It's like, I cannot wait till somewhere in the far future we're cataloged under some like AI and they're like, yep, there they are. Another group talking about that. Like,
don't need DNAancestry.com anymore. You just like go to YouTube. Like, oh, hey, there's my there's my great fucking
talking about everything.
Yep.
I can't believe he said all that. Like, there's
the room he lived in too, and the primitive camera he used to capture all this.
That's exactly it. Like, everything is recorded now. It's crazy. But Solo, so not really looking forward to it.
I'm looking forward to hate watching it. That's gonna be fun.
I'm gonna watch it too. I'm very.
I will admit, I have fun listening to people rip these apart.
Well, because it's just, I think when the scene in the Solo trailer, the one that we will talk about here
yes,
again.
I know what you're
I told you that.
I know what you're gonna do.
That was the scene that I was like more than a little worried about Alden Ehrenreich as Han Solo, because he delivered the first. It's a line reading at about 1 minute in the full trailer, which is, again, you're
49 seconds to be exact,
where she says something like, "I know who you really are."
I know who you really. Yeah.
And he does, like, he says, like, as we talked about last night,
"Who am I?"
Yeah, exactly. Like, he kind of says, "Who am I?" He goes, "And what's that?"
Yeah, and what's that?
He goes, "And what's that?" And his face just like shuts down, and it's so fast, but you catch it because I was like,
it looks like a bad take.
And the point here, folks, is if that's a bad take, we assume that was the best take.
Right, exactly.
So the best they could do,
the best
take was a bad take, which means I would
part-time.
Yeah, part-time. Like, it really was. It was part-time. Like, it was part-time.
Part-time, part 2.
Yeah, it's Han Solo.
Yeah.
His own character. He's like, they're all, can you do a part-time? He's like, what's that? Like, you just...
And what's that?
Like, his face settles down so much that I almost feel like he's, like, heard cut or something off screen.
Yeah, or that was the actual direction, where it's like, Han Solo hasn't quite gotten the smarmy confidence yet.
Yeah, that's a really
So he's worried about what she's...
But then you think, like, that's such... Like, again, it's one of those things where you go, if I have to read that much into your direction, then you did a bad job. Like, if you're telling me I need to read...
If we have to make a fucking podcast
If I have to make a podcast that explains the behind the scenes of how this worked, if it's not on the screen, it's not happening as far as I'm concerned. Like, I look at everything that's on the screen as... If it didn't explain it there, then I don't know about it. Like, I don't know about, Corellian fighters having, flibominium hulls that allow them to smash into snowbanks, because that's in part of the JJ. He said it in one of his side. I don't care about any of that. The only thing I care about is what do they show on the screen, and that establishes the canon. So they've established, now they're going to retroactively establish the Falcon is something that can ram through asteroids, probably. Like, it's so... Well, it has a different design. The cargo thing in the front is... there now.
Yeah, the beaks.
The beaks are
closed.
Or there's a T-plug that goes into that beak. Like, in other words, there's an additional piece that fills the gap, and that is there. Like, they don't open. There's just a piece there that's maybe the, we see that piece is on there in this movie.
Okay, so it's not that they're just moved? Like,
as far as I know, no. It's the whole piece is there. In other words... that front end is there, and you undoubtedly it's going to get knocked off during the Kessel.
I got to look at it again because I've only seen it. I watched the Super Bowl one, and then I saw the one that you.
It's on there, but they don't focus on it because they know everybody fucking.
I feel like the only time you really see the Falcon, like a full shot of it, is when it bats the TIE fighter.
And that's always kind of from behind, because I believe the thinking is they know it's very recognizable from behind, but they also know if they show the front and they show it wacky way, everybody's gonna lose their minds and go like, no way, this is a stupid ass thing to do. Like you should have just kept it old junky thing. Like
they're fine in China though. It's not even a Star Wars movie, so who cares?
Yeah, it's just called Space Wars.
Yeah. Well, what is it? Ranger Solo.
Yeah, Ranger Solo.
And no Star Wars.
No Star Wars because it tanked and
they've completely ruined the brand overseas.
Well, I feel like we talk about this like it's Star Wars is always going to be popular to some people. There's people coming up that are going to be loving it, and there's people that are just inherently going to like it as a series anyway. But I think there's a lot of people that are just looking at, like I looked at Last Jedi and I was like, it just didn't do a lot for me. Like as a random series, I'd be like, whatever. It was a little below like some other movies, but as a Star Wars thing, I just felt like there were.
The problem is that it's Star Wars.
Yeah, and
I mean, there's a smaller problem that it's not that great movie.
Yes.
On its own, but the big problem is that it's a Star Wars movie.
Yes, and it's really incredibly weird to see things like they do a lot of things in the movies now, and again, it happens. You know, it's everything evolves, right? You know, you can't.
Yeah.
It's like I'm sure my dad. It's kind of a weird reference here. When I was a kid, they rebooted Buck Rogers, the series with Gil Gerard, and he was the new Buck Rogers, and they kind of updated everything and. Now, my dad grew up watching the original Buster Crabtree, I think that's his name. He was the original Buck Rogers in, like, you know, silver hats and weird things.
Yeah.
And we watched that, and I remember him going, oh, my God, this is like, it's all sexed up. It was all sexed up, too. It had, like, this one empress who was, like, in a hot bikini, and she was walking around. This is in the 70s. And I was like, big hair and everything, crazy time. And, you know, Gil Gerard was a shuttle pilot, a space shuttle pilot, and he got shot off into a black hole, and he ends up like freezing for 600 years and comes back. So that's the new Buck Rogers story. The old one was he was just a space guy. Like,
he was just there already.
He was just there already.
Yeah.
Nobody.
He was a hero that existed already in that crazy world.
Yeah, he was a super duper crazy pilot.
He was Luke Skywalker.
He was Luke Skywalker at his time.
Born into it and learned in it.
He's just doing it. And in the new one, it was like, you know, it's a guy. And I'm sure, you know, my dad, if the internet was around at the time, he'd be like, oh, no! God, they ruined Buster Crabtree.
He'd be doing what we're doing now.
Yeah, he'd be on
making
a podcast with his dad. Oh, what do you think, Ted? This is terrible.
He'd be Doomcock.
Yeah, he'd be
talking about. Hey, Doomcock.
Hey, Doomcock.
Big fans.
Big fans of you, Doomcocks.
Yeah, he'd be putting on a helmet.
Oh God, he'd be like, oh, Buster Crabtree is the only Buck Rogers as far as I'm concerned. This new, you know, John Panopoulos has ruined the franchise. He's terrible. This Gil Gerard is a Buster Crabtree to me, and he's a terrible actor, and he's the
shit
worst.
Tree.
God, it's terrible, guys, and this guy doesn't know crap. And what is all these lasers? Like, it's just like all the ships are hitting each other, and there's sex. It's ruined it. What happened to 50s values? Yeah. So I mean, I'm sure he would have said the same, but he was just. I remember him watching him. He was just like, he just didn't care.
That's different.
Yeah, he's like, okay, whatever. Like he just didn't care, and it was the same thing when we saw the Star Trek movie, and my mom was a big fan of the original series.
Okay.
And the movie came out like 79 or something. And I remember us watching it, and she was like, oh, they changed the Enterprise. Looks entirely different now. You know, they refitted it, which is, that refit's quite a refit. Like, that was like, I don't know if the old one could have turned into that ship. Like, that isn't a simple refit.
They made quite a leap.
I think they took the Enterprise stickers off the old one and put them on this new ship. That was about all I saw in the refit. Like, I was like, that's an entirely new ship, but whatever.
Refit.
Yeah, they're like, but it was fine. It was like, okay, cool. There was a spirit kept there of the old.
That's the thing that's missing.
Yes.
The spirit.
The spirit is not there in these ones. I feel like it's an entirely new series, and the only thing that keeps it together is it's called Star Wars. That's it.
Yeah.
They're not. They've got weapons.
They have blasters, and they have lightsabers, and they have some spaceships that look the same, but.
Yeah, and like the Solo movie, I feel is going to rewrite all the history too. Like they're going to make it just seem goofy now. Like they're not. They're trying to do Avengers type or Marvel type stuff, and it's so difficult because Marvel's had almost.
Well, the Star Wars was about Luke and Vader, pretty much, and then all the things around it were interesting and fun. But it wasn't like Marvel. How that's just Marvel had their characters had very goofy beginnings already. They're very swashbucklery, and Daredevil was kind of goofy and wore yellow pants.
And Marvel's had almost 60, 70 years to deal with weird continuity anyway. They've had tons of mistakes and tons of goofy. Now so when they did the movies, they're like, let's just take all we've learned and unify all this into a nice story.
Well, it's already coming from a bonkers place already. So.
Yeah, that's true. It's already going from crazy to just like...
Yeah, writers are constantly rebooting those comics, and usually to follow an arc, you follow a writer.
Yes.
In X-Men or Spider-Man or whatever.
You've summed it up exactly. Like, it's already bonkers, and there was a lot of pick and choose your favorite stories from Marvel.
And them turning them into movies was almost like just a new writer took over Thor, and now there's a new story for Thor. And
unlike Star Wars, which also has a ton of backstories written by different people, and these guys, the new guard, just chose to ignore all of it and say there's no Old Republic, there's no extended universe, no Old Republic, at least as far as we're going to pick and choose very quietly what the stuff we like, but we're not going to announce that. Like, I mean, imagine the difference if they... I was thinking, like, what if they'd have come out when they bought Luke Disney and said, everything's valid. We're going to try and work it all together here, folks. Like, we're going to... Extended Universe is still canon.
Yeah, we're going to put Thrawn in there.
Yeah, Thrawn exists. The Old Republic still exists. Don't worry. We love it all. We're going to make this work. If we pull new stories, it's going to be from that canon. We'll tell you new stories.
We're going to put Mara Jade in there.
Yeah, but we aren't erasing that. We're saying that's part of it. So here we go. And that would have been crazy. I thought, like, I was talking with Joshua about this, like, had the Solo movie... What if it had just started, the beginning of the movie, like the first few minutes is the Kessel Run. Like they just start right away and they go, and you're like, oh my God, we're in the Kessel. We're already, I thought it was going to lead up to the Kessel Run and they're just doing
That's probably what they're going to do is lead up to the Kessel Run. And
they will lead up to the Kessel Run.
He's getting a team together.
Yeah.
And they're all going to have their own ships. The Millennium Falcon is going to be the one that makes it.
Right. They're all going to get wiped out, and he's going to have some wacky way. He's going to go, we got to get it. We got to go around this Beetlejuice. And he's like, no, we're going to go fly through the space tornado.
For your daughter, Chuck.
Yeah, he's like, we're going to fly around the space tornado. And he's like, no, that's where the Kraken is. And they're like, that doesn't matter. We're going to have to do this.
Never tell me the odds.
Yeah, that's Woody Harrelson will say it. Don't tell him the odds. Like, he'll be like, that's a good line. And then
I'm gonna steal that.
Yeah, he's like, and then he's gonna fly into the space tornado, and the Imperial Star Destroyer is gonna be like, let's go after him. And he's like, but sir, it's dangerous. He's like, just go after him. That space Kraken can't take out a Star Destroyer. And they're gonna fly in there. He's gonna send out some TIE fighters. They're all gonna get knocked out. And
Space Kraken's gonna wrap its thing around the Star Destroyer and crush it. Yeah.
Crush it, just like a fucking Space Kraken would.
Like a pirate ship.
Yeah, pirate ship, just like the what is it, the Black Pearl.
And that's how Han Solo earned the stripes on his pants.
Yes. He's gonna fly through it. He's gonna come out the other side, and the co-pilot or Chewie is gonna go. He's gonna be like, you're right. We did it in 16 parsecs. Holy crap! I didn't think that was possible. And then they're gonna go. It'll be like, here's Kessel. It'll be like. Join us next year for Solo 2.
And then they're gonna have at the end of the credits, it's gonna be like teenage Yoda doing something somewhere.
I think
Boba Fett.
I think they should wrap it up with a series of postcards during the credits where it shows what happened afterwards. Like Han went on to do this, Chewie went on to do that.
Just him like running from Boba Fett.
Yeah, whoa! It'd be like him and Boba Fett, like at a party where they're kind of like laughing, and then a day later they're like looking at each other. Yeah. Oh, it'd be great. That'd be a great. Yeah, they're gonna. It's gonna just be too wacky. Like they need to subvert our expectations, and that trailer makes me write a story, and I'm pretty sure I'm right. Like I'll be very surprised. But I say, Joshua, I mentioned it to him. I said, what if they started the Kessel Run? He said, what if it was all the Kessel Run? Like that's all. He said, what if the whole start to finish was the Kessel Run? Like it's just the whole thing is like a wacky chase. Like it just starts off they're getting shot at. He's like, all right, we gotta get out of here. He's like,
it's gonna be a heist/chase movie.
Yeah, he's like, head to Kessel. He's like, where? He goes through the space tornado. He's like, flies into
but that's gonna take 20 parsecs.
Yeah, he's like, that's crazy.
I bet you I could do it in 12.
Yeah, he's like, let's do it. And he's like, they're flying. They land on some planet and have an adventure in the middle of Kessel Run, and then they take off again, and it's all about like a distance, not a time thing. So it's great. And then the Space Kraken shows up.
Someone's gonna give him his dice.
The dice are gonna be there. The
blaster somehow.
Everything. Well, Leno Calrissian's probably riding the Space Kraken. That's where they pick him up.
Yeah, he tames them.
Yeah, he's like, oh, it's my friend. I've got one of these guys. Like, it's gonna be. Yeah, we'll see. What time is it now? Let's see. It's 5:03.
Yeah, I think we're good.
Yeah, that's right. This was a good one.
Was that plenty?
That was plenty.
You got enough there?
That was a lot. That was a lot of food for thought. There's a lot of good fire there.
Yeah. So, Solo trailer. Go watch it if you haven't, I guess. We're going to watch the movie when it comes out. When is that thing?
Memorial Day. It's May something, May 5th.
All right. So that's soon.
Yep. Very soon.
But anyway, you are now doing 2 live streams a week on Twitch.
2 live streams, Monday and Thursday. We did one last night. We're going to do one this Thursday. We're doing every week for a couple hours normally. Hour, at least an hour, but we normally go at least 2. So
yeah. So check those out.
Yep.
I have not been live streaming, but I plan to.
Yeah.
So
there you go.
Or you can go there and watch my previous ones too. Follow Tim on Twitter.
Twitter,
and
Donley
on Twitch.
Time, and Twitch, Donley Time also.
Go buy Boss 101 on Steam.
Yes.
While you're there, wishlist Savage, the Shard of Gosen.
Yes. And you can wishlist Zazmo too. The Zazmo.
Yeah, Zazmo too. Zazmo's coming.
There's a lot of stuff.
All that stuff will be in the description below. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching.
Thank you.
And we'll see you on the next one, which will take less than 12 parsecs.
Yes, definitely less than 12 parsecs. Yeah. We're getting a team together.
Yeah, we're getting a team together.
Have
a good one. Thanks for watching.
Bye.
Hey! No, baby. Hey! No, baby. No, baby. No, baby. Hey, hey. No, 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 baby. No, baby. Well, no, I love you. What?